The BHP Podcast is presented by BowHunterPlanet.com. Join the hunt.
Support for this podcast is provided by Grind Life Coffee, Burris Optics, Skull Hooker, Scott Archery, and Cold Steel Knives.
Hey everyone, this is Tim from BowHunterPlanet. Make sure you check out the new podcast, Respect the Game, wherever you find your podcasts.
Let's mount up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the BowHunterPlanet podcast. In studio tonight, myself, Tim Mazarana, Dave Thomas, Kevin Conlin, and Bob McGee.
Hey Tim.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi, Timmy.
Hey, Timmy.
How's everybody?
How was your AT experience, Timmy?
It was a great time, man.
Did you hit the record button?
I did. It's zoomed.
No, I meant like at the AT show when you're interviewing the president of the AT.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Any other backhanded comments there though?
You knew it was coming.
Why, was there a story there?
Not
Oh,
really.
you didn't hear the story?
It's not really.
He
even
didn't
a
hear the
No, I didn't hear the
It's not even
story.
really a story.
What's the
Interesting.
story?
I'll let Tim tell it. I don't want to get,
It's a really short story. We interviewed Matt, president of ATA.
Yeah.
Did a live broadcast there, so we're broadcasting over the floor.
Okay.
And the setup was we just went with the flow, and they had their own board set up with mics and all that kind of stuff, and we set up our podcast Zoom mic, and there wasn't the ability to really plug into our system with headphones
they
and
had
mics.
podcast stuff there?
It was yeah, but it wasn't
live-
like it wasn't
live
like
broadcast.
yeah, it was like just live broadcast, same setup, but it
Liquids
was
and
just
water live.
projecting over speakers instead
Got
of
it,
like
got it,
recording
got
or
it.
anything like that.
And was there a picture of you somewhere, like a big screen TV? Where
No,
people could see
no,
who was
we were on
talking?
the stage though.
Okay.
People could come by, kind of off in the
It was
corner,
cool.
but
From
it
what I
was
saw.
cool. And so set everything up, hit record, and no big deal. Like, it was a good interview, all that stuff. Dave we give all the info to Dave so Dave can put it together and post it. And he sends out a text. He's like, "There's no audio in that file."
No, there is audio. It's 32 minutes of nothing.
So
Not
that's
even,
the
not even,
story.
just
The story
clearly
was,
no audio.
yeah, I hit record. I mean, the question of hitting record.
That's true. You did hit record.
We hit record, but didn't realize that you had to change the setting inside the mic itself. That when you unplug headphones, you have to manually select it to use its own mic. So there was no audio.
User error.
But it was all good. It was a great conversation. Actually, we talked to Matt about
It's just funny because
Do they
I
have
think we
that,
should read the text message
when they
out
were
loud.
when they were doing it live? Did they record it?
no, because there wasn't really anybody manning it at all.
It was just funny because Tim's like, there must be someone out there recorder. It was clearly recording, blah 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 blah. And I'm looking at the recorder, and I'm like, well, it's on input, it's not on mic, so I don't think it's.
I mean, isn't that kind of dumb though? Let's just
It's
be
a
honest.
professional unit. No, it's not. Though.
Oh,
It's
so
very
professional
specific.
means super manual, and you have to think of every little step.
Yes, you
That's
should know how to use
dumb.
the products you're taking into the field.
That's dumb.
It's not
really
dumb. There's
dumb.
inputs and there's a mic.
Well, you sound bitter about this.
I'm not
by the
bitter.
way.
I'm actually not bitter. I can care less. We'll just
So
have
next
on-
year we'll send a lip reader
yeah,
and then a signer.
pretty much. But here's the thing. Like I told Noteboom, I thought
You would have made the same mistake.
no, I would not have. But listen, I
Hindsight's
have.
2020,
would've.
buddy.
yeah, I would have not made that mistake. But I would have tested it with the headphones, and I would have known that there was no audio. That's just
Yeah, but the bars were moving. Everything
I don't-
everything
I
worked
see what you're-
100% normal.
well,
So
actually, it would have flatlined.
it didn't flatline.
It had to have.
It did not.
It had to have
It did
flatlined.
not.
I could prove it right now if you want me to pull it out.
You-
I can flatline it
Don't
right
pull
now.
anything out.
I can flatline it.
Don't pull anything. I'm getting defensive. I feel attacked right now.
Sorry.
Man,
No, honestly, it's not a big deal we didn't get it. It'll be on the show again anyway.
man.
And you guys at least still did the live thing, so that's cool. At least
Yeah.
you got to do a live thing.
Listen, you guys didn't want to hear it anyway. Matt
not
did a
gonna.
great job. Jamie, you did a great job too.
Maybe.
We'll never know. We will never know. So that was cool, but yeah. So we first day we
Did nothing.
we didn't. It was a little bit of a mess. We got there about lunchtime, but that's because media weren't allowed in the ATA show. So we sat around, tried to coordinate with people, coming out to us in the media center, and it was just like all things with the show. it's just crazy. So
Waste
people are
of time.
busy.
They're not going to come out there.
Yeah, and they did eventually, but it was literally like
At
this.
the
Like
end,
we
yeah.
sat there for 3 hours. We're like, all right, let's just go back. Let's get everything set up. Let's get prepped for tomorrow. We walk out the door, and as soon as we walk out the door, we get phone calls. Like, hey, you guys available now? Like, yeah, sure. We'll come back in. So that's the way it works.
Yeah.
But it was good. First day we did get a couple of conversations that I think Dave, as long as the audio worked. I mean, I don't know if the audio worked on that one either.
Which one?
I was just joking. That Burris was able to sit down with us for a while and have a good
Cool.
conversation. So that should be posted, if not already, on our podcast feed, and listen to that one. So yeah, that night we kind of just we hung out. There was in town and talked to some people here and there, and then the next day is really where the boots hit the ground.
Speaking of Burris, did you guys remember to bring me back my Eliminator 3?
No.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean by your Illuminator?
My Eliminator 3.
The
Can I get a?
None of you guys can shoot rifles.
Eliminator. Is that the one with the rangefinder in it?
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I played around with that actually at the show.
You put
and
it's got a
you hit
microprocessor
you hit the
in it.
button on the side, and it ranges it right.
You
in the
put
scope.
your ballistic information in it as far as caliber, grain, name of bullet, Hornady, Winchester, Remington, whatever, and it will give you a holdover on your distance after it's ranged.
So speaking of that, though, watch out for Burris, because they did drop some information that coming up at the SHOT Show, they're going to have some new products launching that they said were very interesting. So if you are into the gun side, and hopefully you are, hopefully you hunt all year round, they got some good things coming out. So
Good.
that was really
Good.
cool.
When's the SHOT Show?
It's coming up in just a couple weeks. It's in Vegas.
Vegas,
I think,
it's a huge show.
yeah, it's like ATA, and then like immediately after, people start setting up for a SHOT Show. So it's coming up. I don't know the exact dates, but yeah. So from there, just kind of wandering around, hitting up our people that we work with all year round. Just making sure that we're saying hi and giving them the attention that they deserve. And that took majority of the day. Doing that, walking around, talking to them, seeing what products they have, which there was some really cool stuff. A lot of the stuff, they're really good at, and they've really changed the industry and what they do in regards to not launching necessarily a lot of new stuff at the ATA show, and really bringing that to the consumer, and really, if you think about it, to the dealer beforehand, so what you're doing when you come in, because this show is really a lot about the dealer relationship, the buyer seller mentality, and to be able to show the dealer and the consumer, and to get that sense of what people are going to want before people go there to place their orders, I think is good, and I think it's been a good change in the industry. And so when we go there, there's a couple new things, which was really nice. But there is not a ton like we used to see 2-3 years ago of all these really crazy product launches going on, which I thought was a very very nice thing about the show. Makes it run a little bit smoother that way. But some really cool stuff. Scott's Archery has some really cool releases coming out that use magnets instead of springs. So the wearability, the longevity of that stuff, is going to be a lot better coming out from Scarts. Not that it was bad at all, but they revolutionized the releases to use magnets instead of springs, which was really cool. And there's some other stuff out there as well. So I know that we have been posting up videos on some of it. So you got to go to our YouTube page to check out all the ATA show coverage that we have.
I couldn't hear very well.
Dave's getting really old. You are falling apart at the seams,
Yes.
my friend.
It's getting to that point. So that's pretty exciting, though, that, at least you guys get to see all that. And I know it's busy there, and it's a hard day of work. So that's definitely so thanks for going, Tim. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it was great. The dinner was amazing, man. The short,
Good for you.
The short rib
Yeah,
that
I
we
saw
had.
you
It's
guys
like,
texting. That's excellent. At least you guys had a good time.
Where'd you go?
we went to this place called Tony's Steakhouse, and it was amazing. Like the food was absolutely amazing. They had the best short rib that I've ever had. Like they literally walk it over to you, and you can see when they're walking it over. It looks like Jell-O, but not in a bad way. you can literally cut this thing with a fork. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. So, horseradish, mashed potatoes, and so delicious, man.
Yummy.
Anyway, not to digress, but I've been dreaming about that. So, so yeah, while we were at ETA, what were you doing?
Here, we worked, man. We had the first podcast talking about your first day there, how you guys couldn't do anything, kind of waste of time. So we kind of harped a little bit on the podcast about that situation. And then we, what else did we do that night?
We
did a couple
reviewed
things.
the obsession.
Oh, yeah, we did the Obsession Bow review. That's right. And then we put in our time. Then when you guys got back, I took all that footage and edited it, and it was horrible.
Isaac,
Isaac, come on.
So
man.
no, we were benefited with one of our ambassadors willing to help us out this year and going, and he did. No, we're
It's a lot of
joking
work.
around,
Yeah, it's
but
a
he
lot of
actually did an amazing job. For a first time being there and getting used to the video side of a convention, live environment, lots of sound, lots of different lighting.
I was getting more posts from him about people he was interviewing than you guys.
Yeah.
Well, we were busy talking. He was our workhorse, man. That's what we wanted, you know. So
It's it was interesting because going in, I guess I wasn't thinking you guys were going to actually film anything.
I didn't think we were either.
I thought you were just going to do pictures of people, not just celebrities or anything like that, but just some people you're hanging out with, and maybe just filming some podcasts. And doing actually, I thought it was going to turn into more podcasting than it was.
I did too.
Video. So
I
I
did
think
too.
it was all mixed up because I talked
Yeah.
to Jamie yesterday, and he's like, "Well, what did he say? Something about like." I didn't know that going in. I'm like, okay,
No.
I guess we did a bad
It
job.
it
at
wasn't
the
even
team meeting.
No, you know what? It wasn't even that. What it really was is you get there and all the companies
Yeah, I get it. It's
assume
nuts.
that's what you're doing, right? Is the video side of things and
Yeah.
all that. But that, to be honest with you, that's the quickest, easiest way to bring you what they have.
Yeah,
And what it actually evolved into is going to be a really good year for this podcast because everybody wants to be on the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but to do a conversation like that takes time, and that
Right.
time doesn't
They don't
happen.
have it.
They don't have it
yeah.
at that show.
So look forward to this year because we're gonna have hopefully all of those companies on.
So besides
coming
the
up.
besides the BowHunterPlanet staff, were there any other celebrities there also?
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not the guy that like knows them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you would need Jamie here to be like, oh, I know Cam Haynes was there. Like a bunch of other people, but I'm not that guy that like that looks at that side of everything. You know what I mean?
Were the Shockies there?
I saw Eva.
Yeah.
Eva,
Yeah, I saw
was
Eva.
there.
Eva was there. Bud Fisher was there. If you want to call him a celebrity, I guess he is.
Did any of them ask for your autograph?
Yeah, Cam Haynes asked him for his autograph.
That's cool.
Yeah,
You should.
I autographed his
We're
Haynes.
BowHunterPlanet, dude. Come on.
But it was really cool. It was just overall it was worth it to go and see and just be present there. So it was good. I don't know where you want me
I'm
to go.
so excited that you're going back next year on your own again. That's crazy.
I wouldn't-
Part of me is like, I'm not sure I really missed it, to be honest. Like, especially after talking to you guys when you were there Thursday. I was thinking in my head, like, yep, that's what happened.
It started off really negative, but it ended in a really positive way. And if nothing
Well, see,
more,
here's a
if
difference.
nothing more, because Dave wasn't there.
Yeah.
And Jamie and I actually talked about this. If Dave was there, it would have turned into this like huge major production. You go
Absolutely.
here, you do this. I want you to do this. Let's go
That's
take a
what's gonna
picture.
happen
Let's do
next
this. And we were just sat back and be like, you know what? This actually went really smooth. We got a lot accomplished. We talked to a lot of people.
That may or may not have happened
What?
because after the first negative day on Thursday, Dave may have just said,
He would have just turned around and left.
"I'm going home. I'm going home.
That's it.
I would have gotten in that shit.
I got to see
been-
my wife and kids.
I would have got it.
This is ridiculous. I'm out of here. Don't they know who I am?"
That's Dave.
I would have gotten in that
That's
shit.
Dave for sure.
I absolutely.
Yeah, but then you also would have been like, we need to go to this concert and we need to, But anyway, that's topics for.
I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong. I know you're right. I'm just more business minded. I just want to go right after everything. So I agree. It would have been hell for you guys, but
When you guys, all you want to do is party.
yep, they don't want to do the work.
I don't think
Just
so.
wanna
I
chill.
don't think that's what it was. Like my mentality going in, because I don't deal with them. right? I'm not in Dave's scenario where I'm the one talking to them throughout the whole year. I have to build a different relationship before that goes in that.
Oh,
that
I mean,
angle.
like hang out
You know
the
what I
bar
mean?
relationship.
We didn't really do a
Is that
lot
what
of
you're
that.
getting to?
No, we.
Now that's
you know,
not
we
the
did that.
story Jamie gave.
We,
Oh,
so
yeah,
no.
Jamie's like, I remember what happened the first night.
Yeah, well,
I
that's-
was so messed up on
that's- I
feel like
Thursday.
we went in on
I'm
Friday.
surprised we even got up.
First of all, that was 1 out of 2 nights, and I will agree the first night was a little messy, but the second night, by the end of it, you're just so tired that we went out to a good dinner and we didn't go anywhere. We sat in the hotel and had a couple drinks, but we didn't end up doing anything. We're old men, so what do you do?
You guys aren't old
Well,
compared.
not relatively old. We're not comparatively old, I guess. Let me put it that way. So yeah, it was a great time. So I hope you guys saw it. I hope and really honestly, I do hope that everybody out there that watches us on YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff saw benefit of us being there. And I'd love to know whether you did or didn't. Is it something that by the time we get to ATA, like, have you seen half the stuff that we're already posting? And I half feel like that. I half feel like because they launch everything before, maybe there isn't as much purpose as going there to trying to get content, as there is of rubbing elbows with everybody that's there. So it's I don't know. It's a conversation that I think we got to think through. So
I had the conversation today with Excalibur. I brought that up, what you guys went through and all that. It's like, oh, you should have told us. We would have got you a vendor tag.
Yeah.
We absolutely would have had you at
hindsight's 20/20 for sure.
And that's what I said. And I said, so we'll work out with Matt. I'm more concerned with the ATAs. I don't want to break rules. I'm not looking at this like, oh, who can get me a vendor pass so I can break the rules to get media in there. That doesn't make any sense. I want to go in and be allowed to go in and do the right stuff. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? Like, if that's how it has to be and that's the rule to go in for that, then fine, no problem.
Yeah, I think one thing Matt really struck a chord with me on is to say, listen, we know that this year was messy.
Yeah.
There were issues that we had.
Why?
And there were
Did
people,
they change stuff this year?
Yeah. So what they did change is on the first day, which was Thursday, they didn't allow press into the show.
And like you said, they're launching products and
Yeah.
Yeah, but when
That's what didn't make sense
But
to
when
me.
we get
Yeah,
there,
it makes total.
we see press in the show, and we're sitting on the outskirts going,
yeah, what's going on here?
because we're trying to follow the rules, right?
Yeah,
but
we're
we're
just
sitting
trying
here
to-
on Facebook, and we're seeing people post from inside the show and going live from inside the show, and we're just sitting here, and our minds are going in the wrong direction. Like they're going, on the negative side of we got screwed here. Like I'll just throw it out there. But after a good conversation with Matt, there were issues, and the things that were going on shouldn't have. But they do realize the need, and they're going to think through this over the next year. They do realize the need for media. It's just what's that balance?
Well, it doesn't
Because-
make sense to have a product launch and not let the media in.
and they know that.
That makes
that
no
was
sense.
a great, and they know that they need media there. It's just what's the balance? And to a very good point that he made that struck a chord with me is this isn't a company. ATA is not a company that is trying to profit necessarily from the show. They are owned by their members. So they need to make their members happy. Their members are not just press.
Correct.
Their members are dealers. Their members are the people
Manufacturers.
selling to the dealers. Their members are manufacturers. So there is a balance that they have to juggle. So there is some messiness to it, but there's obvious things that they need to think through. But that's where he was very thankful of the conversations that we had with him in regards to that, because he needs that input. That's their job. Their job is to try to take all of the input and create something that.
Like I said to Dave, I said they should have, okay, if you're going to have product launches, let's do it between this such and such hours and let the media in for that.
Here's my solution. My solution is this. If you're going to do product launches, let whatever media is approved to come in. And there
Right.
should be an approval process, and you have to think about that. But that's it. If they're
Yeah.
coming in, it's for the
Yeah.
product launches.
Right.
And because the issue that everybody has is when everybody starts to go around and capture all of these buyers or sellers, I should say, time, all these companies' time, that takes that time away from buyers trying to get business done.
Right.
So yeah,
And I get that. And I think that's a valid point.
very valid. But I think that the issue is that in a situation where PSC has their own media, who's an external media company, and I'm not going to name names, it's fine.
Right.
But and I have no
You
issue
can
with
find
them.
it
I
if
have
you
no
want
issue
to.
with them being there. It's no problem. What I'm saying is, why is it okay for PSC to pull in their own media and Bowtech's not? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if the rules were followed correctly, they could have brought me in or us to do their launches.
Right.
But PSC had a launch, and they had a media guy there that had a vendor badge on, not a press badge, right? And again, I don't care that they had him there. But my point is,
That's
as
the messy part.
membership, you don't get to pick and choose like who they can. I'm okay
Well,
with
you
the
do.
pick and choose of media.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. What I'm saying is, each company doesn't get to make their own choice on that. Like it's supposed to be a rule. There's no media in here, right? So. That needs to be addressed. Is all I'm saying. You
And
can't
I-
have one boat company allowing them to have media and cameras rolling all this, and no one else can.
And
do
I
that,
think
right?
ATA failed on the communication of how that was going to actually look at
Sounds-
the
I
show.
agree. Yeah.
And
Sounds
I
like
think
it.
they know that.
Yeah.
I do think they know that. And that is something that they're gonna need to think through over the coming years. Now, how that looks
Yeah.
during
And then I
day
found
one.
out today.
Well, it's an evolving process too.
I also found out today that company like Faradyne had a private room that was for writing sales orders. Private, completely private, no media. The big buyers.
Yeah, but that was
bigger
part of
buyers.
their booth.
Nope, this is external, not even in the show floor. Separate room that was exclusive only to larger dealers, and people could go in there and sign their orders in there.
because of them
Privately.
being so large.
Yeah, they had. It's
Yeah.
such a large company. They made more sense. They actually shrunk their booth this year. I heard, and I think that's what they did. They opened up a private, no media, just specifically to only big buyers
Now-
allowed in.
Business end.
All of that being said, when
Which is a smart idea. A private,
Yeah.
room that's no other companies can hear the orders. Or,
Nobody's
that's-
interrupting you.
That's exactly like the auto show that they do
Yeah.
here, right? They have those VIP areas that you can
right
go
rooms.
to and do that kind of stuff at. I will say this though, talking to some of the dealers, talking to some of the vendors, the exhibitors, they did like the way things went Thursday from this standpoint. They were able to do the business that they needed to do on Thursday so that Friday they were able to give their time to us and to the press and to all the others that was there. And I will say this, on Friday, things went way more smooth than they ever have because you're not fighting for all that time either.
Yeah,
So there
yeah.
there is a definite benefit to all that.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
agree.
sense. Makes sense.
I think it's right. I think what Kevin said is the best thing. Media's allowed in not to interview people, but to just cover launches.
The special events.
Just the launches, like where they're launching in front of everybody. There's a microphone. They're talking. So what's the big deal for standing there filming that? As long as we're not going into their situation and bothering them. And
We're not
just
taking
those
up their
events.
time.
We're not stopping at booths and video interviewing anybody. Like none of that's allowed. All it's allowed is press release coverage and personal conversations if someone wants to talk to you, which is all I would have wanted to do, is just at least go. If I can't do anything that day, if anything, I want to go to Bowtech, go to Hoyt, go to whoever, and just sit there if they want me there and like just hang out with my friends in the industry. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
The marketing people aren't selling anything. I can sit down and hang out with those guys and hey, or go find some celebrities who are out there and talk with them. How do you think the celebrities got in? They get into a vendor pass. That's how they get into the shows. So
Absolutely.
anyway, no big deal. I like I said, I think it's a learning experience. You guys talked about it, and they're willing to work on things, and that's great. And that's that. And I mean, and if they have to do it the same way next year, all right. Now we know the rules. We'll ask a boat company to give us a vendor pass to get in to cover their events, so we can do that internally for them, and that's that.
Watch out.
Watch out. We're
BHP
coming.
Wow,
2021.
we're
Can't wait to get there. Tim's going to be so mad when I
We're
put him to
coming
work.
for you.
Where is
much
it?
work.
Where is
coming.
it next year?
Same place.
So much work coming, y'all boys.
But they're doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's even better.
So it is, except for work on Monday.
Well, they take Monday off. Take Friday, Monday.
Yeah. But yeah,
it is
it'll
better.
be. It's
In a
better.
weird way.
It's better for the. I think what they came to the consent. It's better.
Or
for
you don't go
a lot of the
Thursday.
dealers because a lot of
Thursday-
dealers shut down.
Depending on what the rules happen, Thursday might be a dead day. You go on Friday, and that's that. Again, I'm not so sure we're going to be videoing a lot next year. Like we have to make decisions what we want to actually do at the show. One of the things I would like to do is consider maybe some sort of a podcast concept that is on Saturday, like a later day or a Sunday, like the last day, where they actually have time to come to a room and talk and sit down or whatever. That to me, and videotape those, and I think that would be more an idea. And then and not having like then maybe we have just a crew of 2 or 3 guys who go around, take pictures or little video clips of new products, and we'll launch one video. That's what's new, you know.
I'm already not going next year.
That's fine. I'm saying that you have different people doing different things. That's all I'm saying. They're separate teams doing different tasks.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to play with the big boys, that's the stuff you got to do. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to compete with the other brands that do things like we do, you got to step up. You can't do half-butt jobs. You have to go in and go hard.
Sorry, I failed you this year, buddy.
You didn't have a choice. You didn't have enough people. And you didn't hit the record button correctly.
Oh.